have a successful program, placement is a giant part of it. So what we needed to do was establish a rubric and common placement for all of our students that would be going into the program. What did a Spanish speaker 1 student look like? What did a Spanish speaker 2 look like? And what did a Spanish speaker 3 look like? So we had to work together to figure out what type of test we would give. At my website, which I'll include the link right here in the following slide, you can see sample tests from about 30 placement tests of students placing into levels 1, 2, and 3. As well, you can see the rubric that we use to make sure that we are all calibrated and working together, and that the students understand the expectation that they will have when they're going to be placed into this course. The components of the placement exam are reading comprehension. They just read a simple question and some questions about their personal history, and then a question for an essay. We check their grammar and their writing and spelling, and the personal history honestly is a big component to their success. A student may score fantastically or write an amazing essay because they have a lot of good experience in English, and so of course we'll put them into higher level. Or a student may write just one paragraph, not very well organized, but really good grammar, and then we can see that they're new to the country and it just seems that they need some time to practice writing as we do in the United States, and so they can go to a higher level as well because we use a lot of writing components that will help make sure that they're successful. The first time we decided to really incorporate the program, we decided to make Spanish for Spanish speakers a key component in our English Learner program. So not only do students take English classes, they take Spanish for Spanish speakers as well. So depending on their placement level, probably someone who's brand new to the United States will go into a higher level of Spanish for Spanish speakers and be doing a little bit more challenging work, whereas someone who is a long-time English learner and has lower English skills and low Spanish skills will probably go into Spanish for Spanish speakers 1. That way they get more time with their primary language, and it seems to really work with the concept of transference and transfers over to support their skills and cognition in English. The first time that we placed students was in 2003, and we gave the placement test to every single ELD student in our school, so that in the following year we would have those students in the Spanish for Spanish speaker program as part of their EL program. So we went from about 3 to 4 Spanish for Spanish speaker classes to 9 Spanish for Spanish speaker classes and additional AP language and AP literature class, which we weren't able to offer before. So now we had 3 AP classes and 9 Spanish for Spanish speaker classes, and you can imagine we had to hire a new teacher as well. After that, what we did is we started to give we're not a unified district with our elementary school districts, so they are so kind and generous with us to give the Spanish for Spanish speaker placement test to their 8th grade students. So anyone that's a heritage speaker, anyone who is in the EL program as a Spanish speaker, takes this exam, and then as a district, we work together, the Spanish for Spanish speaker teachers, and take 2 days in February to grade those exams. It's a lot of hard work, but it definitely pays off because the placement is excellent in the fall. Out of all those students, probably 600-700 students that are in the program, we are able to have less at each site, about 12 misplaced students that we shuffle within the first 2 weeks. So it's made a big difference in the success and amount of differentiation that we have to do in our classrooms. This year we noticed that when we attached the rubric, we got better results on our placement tests. I think it's really important that the students see what the expectations are for them, and how their performance on this placement test goes completely into what class they're going to be placed into. When we work together as a group, we first start off with about a group of 10 to 12 teachers, and we all grade the same 15 to 20 papers, and then we talk about why we gave each student a 1, a 2, a 3 for speakers 1, 2, or 3. Once we do that, and that takes honestly about a half an hour to an hour, then we work in teams of 2. So each team of 2 teachers takes a stack of placement tests, and each person grades each test once. So each test is graded twice. If there's any questions about the placement of that student, then we give those special tests to another teacher to look at and say, well, we think it's a 1 or we think it's a 2. What do you think? So we get at least another opinion, because it's a lot of responsibility to place each of those students, but it's definitely worth it. And it's more valuable when we have more teachers placing each student. It takes a little bit more time, but the placement is much more accurate. Thank you for taking the time to learn about our Spanish for Spanish Speakers program. For more information and documents that support our courses, please visit my website and take the time to view the other short videos in this series.